It's enormous, actually.
We're increasingly in the highest part of the high-tech business with what we do and how we help people save money.
Communication has been huge, both from internally and externally to outside doctors, also in sharing materials and data that are required between the offices, as well as between our office and other doctors' offices who refer us patients.
As it stands, I have an employee who lives basically in Worcester, Massachusetts, and yet is a full-time employee during the tax season, and yet isn't here. And we can only do that really through a sophisticated IT support that's supported obviously by the backbone of the internet.
Well, I guess I was lucky.
They were right across the hall from us in Farmington with our first company. But that would not have kept them with us, of course, if they didn't do a good job.
I interviewed Steve Pelletier, who was the CEO of that organization, and he was very anxious to take the ball and offer suggestions that would work in our environment. So I think he was a visionary in the sense of being able to see what it is that we needed.
And while the Agile Network had its email system through SPELLNET, was because they performed well for us. And I could pick up the phone and call the principals, or I could walk across the hall, or later on when they moved to downtown Hartford, drive down there and express my support or my interest or my outrage or what have you. But mostly it was support and very little of outrage because they always did such a good job.
He had the same sort of vision that I did for both my business and the future of businesses like mine.
The biggest industry trend is the one I've been talking about a little bit here with the cloud computing. What it allows people to do is to tap into the depth and breadth of the services that the world of IT can use.
The funny thing about life is that it runs in cycles, and what we're seeing now is the advent of data centers, which are really nothing other than huge storage facilities, much like they were 50 years ago or 40 years ago, where people will be accessing the data in one physical location. And it's very interesting to see how far that has come back, full circle.
The broadcasting of news through social networks, which is very current today, using Facebook and Twitter and some other LinkedIn and things of that kind.